Hey guys, my name is Chrissy and welcome to Chrissy's Language Corner, where on this channel I learn any language I feel like learning. I don't really have a particular language that I'm learning in general, I just tend to go with the flow. But the language that I'm learning, that I started learning since last year, well, actually, I've been learning this language for almost a decade, is Japanese. So if you're interested in learning the tips and tricks and resources that I use to help me learn Japanese, stay tuned. Alrighty, so now that we've learned our hiragana and katakana, let's get down to the textbooks. Now, as you can see, there's not a lot going on here, and there's a reason for that. In the past, when I was learning Japanese, I would have so many different textbooks. I would have Genki, I would have Mina no Nihongo, I would have Japanese from Zero. I would have most of the textbook that was used back in the day. And it overwhelmed me. It overwhelmed me to the point where I didn't even want to learn the language anymore. So this is a tip that I'm going to give out to you before we even talk about the textbooks. If you're going to learn Japanese in a textbook, stick to one textbook, please. Do not have a whole bunch of textbooks in your room. It's gonna overwhelm you. Now, it might not. Like I said, for me, it overwhelmed me. It did. It really did. So this is why my setup here is very simple. It's very minimal, and I love it because not only am I focusing on one thing, I know what these books are used for me, So so again, I have history using Mina no Nihongo, Japanese from Zero, these type of books that I've heard and used throughout my years were great. I have no issues with them. But because I had so much books, I was not able to develop a style of learning. And Genki has been that book for me. Japanese from Zero in general is a very easy Japanese starter learning book. It basically feeds you everything from learning your kanas to learning simple grammar words. Mina no Nihongo in general is a little advanced. It's an advanced beginner. You definitely have to know your hiragana, katakana, because the Japanese learning book for Mina no Nihongo there's no English. There's no English. But with Genki, on the other hand, it's a sweet spot. Like, you have a happy medium with Mina no Nihongo. Not only do you have your Romaji to help you read the Japanese letters and stuff, but you're also being exposed to a lot of reading materials in this book in general. Not saying that Mina no Nihongo and Japanese from Zero doesn't have that, but if you're like me, where you know most of your stuff, but you're not there yet, Genki is a great book to start with. There's 2 Genki book series, I believe. Should I say this? There's 2 of these, and the reason why I chose this book finally to learn my Japanese was because it fit my level. And this comes with the textbook. This is the workbook, and this is the answer key. I hardly use the answer key, so it's not something that I really go to, but in case I want to check myself with the answers, I go here. Now, this is a book I actually would like to have a tutor with. I actually have a tutor with this book. Back in the day, when I've owned this copy like 3 times, believe it or not. But back then, I would use my online resources to study this textbook. And you can have that just by going on YouTube. There are people on YouTube that have dedicated their channel learning Genki in general. So you can type in Genki lesson 1 and you will get a 45-minute to an hour video dedicated to that one lesson. So it's pretty cool. I love how Genki has a lot of people using their stuff because you have endless amount of resources when it comes to Genki. What else was I going to say? So this is the textbook that I'm using. Right now I am using a tutor with this textbook and I love it. But if you can't afford a tutor right now, that's okay. You have plenty of resources online. You can also get this book PDF file. You can get the PDF file of this book, and it's free. So you don't have to purchase it, but you know me. You know that I like my physical shit. I gotta have it. I gotta have the physical stuff. So yeah, Genki is the book I'm using to learn Japanese. It's fun. It's simple. It comes with a lot of audio practices, and again, if you can afford a tutor, you will be able to learn a lot. Yeah. Okay. So now I said that I'm not a big fan of having a whole bunch of Japanese textbooks, but these are the two textbooks. I wouldn't even call them textbooks. They're more reference books. They're more reference books. When I started learning Japanese, I had a hard time understanding particles. I had a hard time understanding sentence patterns, and I just had a hard time in general. And when I found these books truly helped me improve my Japanese grammar. It's definitely worth the money. It's definitely worth the time. They help you break down a lot of the sentences in this book when it comes to using certain particles, and also when you are trying to find more effective ways to, I'm not going to say spice up your conversations, but this definitely helps you. I'm not going to say it helps you talk like a native, but whenever I would practice online with people and I would use some of the skills in this book, a lot of them were surprised on how I was able to use different speeches and different words in conversations, all thanks to these books. So these are definitely two of my favorites. This is not my first time owning these. I've owned these multiple times because they're my ride or die. I love them. All right, so you've learned your hiragana, you've learned your katakana, you have a comfortable vocabulary, you have your grammar textbooks, you are learning how to form sentences, you are finally on track when studying Japanese. So what's next? So whenever you're studying a language in general, it's always good to practice immersion. And immersion is basically something that you do to expose yourself to the culture, to expose yourself to the people, the language, and just be a part of it. So one of the best things I like to use when using immersion for studying Japanese is actually reading manga. All of my mangas are in Japanese. I don't have any English mangas. I maybe have one, but most of my Japanese books and my Japanese mangas are in Japanese. Now again, the reason why I stressed in the beginning of the video of learning your hiragana and katakana, because I tend to get mangas that have furigana in it. And furigana is basically, let me show you. I'll show you what it is, right? So you're learning this, you're seeing this, it's a little intimidating, but because you know your hiragana and katakana, stuff like this won't scare you. As you can see, there's some kanji there, but you see some hiragana and katakana next to the kanji, right? Because you know your hiragana and katakana, you're able to read the sentences. Now, you're going to be able to understand it right now? No, but over time you will, because you're exposing yourself to the language. Now, again, furigana is hiragana and katakana that is labeled on the side of the kanji so that you can read the kanji. And one thing I like to do when I learn a new word in kanji is I like to write it in a notebook, or I like to store it on an app. So if you have like Anki Deck, or if you just have a notebook on your iPad or on your computer, that you could write all of the kanjis you've learned. It's amazing. I love reading manga in Japanese. If anything, it is like the biggest flex, to be honest. But immersion is important, and this is the tools I use for my immersion. I know there are people that use music, they use TV shows, they use anime, they use news articles, they watch the news in Japanese. Like, immersion is really all about what you can do. I know there are people that can afford a trip to Japan right now, and that's how they use their immersion. They like to just throw themselves into the country, and that's great. But we're living in an economy right now where shit's getting real and eggs are costing like $20. Yeah, we're at that point where eggs are literally $20. And if you can afford a trip, you go ahead and do your thing. But I'm not at that level just yet. So I'm gonna stick to what I got and what I have for Japanese mangas. And if you're interested in seeing my little old collection, I'll make a video on it, but I also have a YouTube channel dedicated to my manga collection. It's called Chrissy's Manga Corner. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box so that you can see it. But yeah, I really think that's it. I guess one of the biggest tips I can talk about when it comes to immersion is just have fun. Have fun. Like, don't expect to know everything overnight. Like, when I collect my mangas, I really try to go for mangas that I'm familiar with, mangas that I grew up reading. And once you have something you're familiar with, that's half the battle right there. So a lot of these mangas I've read in English already. So just being able to compare notes and compare the English version to the Japanese version, it's only half the battle. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't really have any more things to say on the resources I have pertaining to the physical copies. I will be coming out with a video sometime soon, because I do work and I'm still getting used to this whole moving life, and my background was a bit loud when it came to moving, and now that I'm in a quiet place, I'm getting used to the quiet. So I know I'm all over the place with this segment of the video, but this is just me closing out the video, to be honest, because what I have to share with you, I have to make a whole other video about. And don't worry, I will. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you learned something. I really hope you learned a thing or two about what tools to use, where to start, how to start, and don't be afraid of Japanese. Don't be afraid of the language. The language is super fun. It's basically what you make it, and don't give up. I've been learning this language for almost a decade, and trust and believe me, I've had my setbacks. But because I was able to not give up, I still found a way. And even if you don't have the funds to afford these books, a lot of these books are online. You can actually find them online. So yeah, thanks again for watching my video. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.